AJ, the good for you guy, and I am here with Charles from Denong Teas. And we've heard a lot about different types of tea here at the Tea Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada. But we're here specifically wanting to talk about Puerh Teas, which is a new, I would say new, but it's newly being, I guess, journey to, there's an adventure to Puerh. There's a lot of people are starting to get introduced to Puerh, and it's quite a unique tea as it's all based in the aging process. So talk to us a little bit about Puerh and what it makes it different from, say, some of the other teas that we've tried.
Of course, of course. So Puerh, first off, to be a Puerh, it has to be grown in Yunnan. It has to be sun-dried, which is very important, and then it needs to be fermented. So there are two big classes in Puerh. That would be ripe and raw. So with the ripe teas, that might be what you're used to now. It might be what you have at Pete's, for example. It's the really dark tea. And what's happened there is that they have pushed the natural process of aging. They've taken 10, sometimes even 20 years of aging, pushed it all into 6 weeks by adding a lot of moisture and letting the probiotics work their way through the tea faster.
Gotcha.
Whereas the the raw tea, it's exactly what you would have had for hundreds of years. They'll process the leaves, they will sun dry it, and then they'll let it age naturally over time.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, so, but it's really the same concept, it's just shorter time periods.
That's
basically
right.
what it is.
So what happened basically was in Hong Kong back in the day, they had all these tea houses and all these old guys would get together. And over time, those tea houses turned into family dim sum restaurants, and they were just going through a lot of tea. Those restaurants over the years had collected a lot of tea, and they were storing it in basements and really humid locations. They were aging really fast. However, they got to the point where they needed some new tea that wasn't so expensive, so they created the ripening process in the late 70s so that you could make something that you could drink right away, real earthy, but not so expensive.
Not so expensive. Cool. So now you've got some of these Puerhs out here for us. So tell me a little bit about the ones that you actually have out here.
So we have 5 different Puerh here. We have 2 over here that look very light, almost like a green tea. They will be the Enchanting Beauty. So this is a raw tea from just a year ago. They used to say that you can't have raw tea that's young, but now with better picking practices and producing practices, very approachable, fruity, easy to drink. We have the Nan No, which is a single origin, and the Nan No is from one mountain, Nan No Shang. This will give you a really nice concentrated view of what the terroir of just this place is. We have a ginseng scented ripe tea, we have the wild tea, and also we have the Puerh. So Puerh is one of the first successful batches of tea in the early 80s, and it's aged over 30 years, so it's very smooth.
So you're telling me that this tea here has been aged for 30 years?
Right. So this is interesting because it's a ripe tea, so they hasten that process. But even above that, because it's been aging for 30 years, they've mellowed out those really earthy, woodsy notes, and it's very smooth, almost like a brandy.
I actually like Puerh teas. I was introduced to Puerh teas actually in California.
Oh, okay.
And it was interesting because we tried it and I'd never had Puerh before. And it definitely is it's completely different. Like when you try a lot of green teas, they're citrusy or grassy. There's some great notes about them. This one is more earthy, very grounding. And I actually have some friends that are big into bourbon and whiskey, and I keep telling them I'm going to turn them into tea drinkers.
Yeah.
And I think this is the tea because they don't like those fruit flavors and all. They want something that's more earthy. So I think this is a really good way to do it. So what is the one that you poured for us to try here?
So we're trying this first tea here, the Enchanting Beauty. So you notice it's young, so maybe a little astringent, but nice muscatel, fruit forward.
Nice. That's a very light.
Yeah.
That's a very light
Easy to
Puerh.
drink.
Yeah.
So now, since we're taking better and better leaves from old trees and we're blending them together, now even raw teas that are young, very approachable, very palatable.
Wow. Okay. Cool. That's a nice one. I like that. So what's the next one we're going to try?
The next one we have is the Nan No. So this is the single origin tea. A little bit more age on it. It's 2012.
Okay. See this beautiful liqueur, like wine. liqueur, color.
So whereas this one has a nice muscatel, much more of a mouth pucker and a grape.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And it's okay to slurp your tea. Why you do that? It's like your wine, you're aerating it, you're getting it on all those taste buds in your mouth so you can get all the flavors at one time. That's nice. I like that one.
Next, we have a ripe puerh. So this is the one that has been aged a little bit quicker. So you'll notice it's a much darker tea.
Darker liqueur. Now see, this is starting to taste a lot more like the Puerh I had before. This is very like earthy. I love the notes in this.
So because this one is very much like a ginseng broth, a little bit of lychee in it, that's why we call it the ginseng set, even though it's a real nice dark tea.
That's nice. I like
We'll
this.
skip over here to the Puerh.
Now this is 30 years plus. It's 30 years, I guess naturally you're saying, but then they also quickened the process.
That's
some
right.
too.
One of the first successful batches of ripe tea, just after they had invented it, and then it actually aged in cakes. And just a few years ago, we broke up the cakes so that they'd be a little bit easier to use, more like loose tea.
Okay.
So, what you're tasting here is not so much the harvest or the process, but just that time.
That's a beautiful color. I love that amber color. Oh, that's a good puerh. This is a good puerh right now. They're all good, but this is a good puerh. That's nice.
I'm glad you like it.
That's wonderful. Wow, that's amazing. Now, so tell me, where can some of them find these great Puerh teas?
We just started here in the States, so you can purchase online. We have a website, denongtea.com. It's denongtea.com.
Denongtea.com. Awesome. And are you guys on Facebook yet? And are you doing any social media?
We just
promotion?
started, but we are on Facebook and we have Twitter and Instagram, so we'd love for people to join us.
Follow. This is an amazing Puerh tea. So we've tried a lot of teas here. Trust me, there is a lot of tea at this event. And these Puerhs are amazing. We really enjoy them. So make sure you go in and check them out, and make sure you subscribe and like as well. And also subscribe and like us too, the Good For You guy. So thanks so much, guys, for joining us and enjoying these Puerhs with us, and we'll see you again soon.